Urban Rhino Tutorials. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pair of beaded fringe earrings. So for this, you will want to have either some really small wire, so like this 32 gauge wire is what I'm going to use, or you could use thread. To begin, you're going to make a series of beaded segments on the wire or thread. So I'm going to cut off a piece that is about 8 inches long. It's more than what you will need, and obviously this is going to be dependent on how how long you want your fringe to be, your beaded part. So I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to start putting my beads on. The first bead I put on, and actually let me show you I'm doing this rainbow striped pattern here that goes at an angle. So the bottom of my segments will be angled like this. So these will be left blank. So I'm gonna start at the bottom and work my way up. So I folded my wire in half. I'm gonna put my first bead on just one piece of the wire and let it go down to that halfway point, like this. Now I'm gonna bring my two together to put my next bead on over both pieces, and I will continue putting the beads on over both of them for the rest of it. And that bottom one will keep it from coming off, since I put it only on one, so it stops those beads from falling off the end. So I would just continue on in my rainbow pattern that I have, referring back to my template to make sure that I do them correct. And this is one of those cases, again, where I'm not gonna make you watch me do every bit of this because that's insane. But just want to show you a few so you get the idea. And I'm using seed beads, like 2mm seed beads. So from here, I would finish putting my beads on, and then I'm just going to set this one to the side, and then I will continue on. So I have these completed. Let me move that one out of the way. I'm going to scoot them over here so you can see. And on my pattern, I have 7 sections, 7 beaded sections, but for some reason I felt like adding that 7th one was just a little bit too wide. So I'm going to leave that one off. So this was my 7th one, and I just thought it made it a little bit too wide, so we'll leave that one off. So to assemble these, what I'm going to use is, this is called a cord connector, and or sometimes they call them end connectors, tube connectors. There are a million different names for these, so I'll include a link so you can see where to purchase those. But it has a little opening here, and then the side has like a little flap that's open. So what that does is that allows you to slide something in. So whether it's like beaded rhinestone strands, not beaded, but rhinestone strands, you could slide those in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all of these segments on this eye pin. So I'm gonna wrap the wire around it. I'm gonna make a loop on this side, and then I'm gonna slide that whole thing through the tube here, okay? So to do that, I'm gonna start with my first one, and I'm going to just begin by wrapping the wire around 3 or 4 times like this. I want my beads to be really close to the wire, the eye pin up there, and then you can use your nail or pliers and just kind of push it together. And then I'll trim that one off, the extra, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. There are good and bad things about using the wire versus using thread. So the wire is much easier to work with as far as wrapping the wire around the eye pin at the end. It's a lot easier to put the beads on because you don't have to mess with the needle. The only downfall is that this little, the wire, because it's so skinny, a lot of times the segments, I'm coughing like crazy, the segments kind of get a little bent, so you just have to be mindful of that. So I've got that one, so you can see now, well there, I just bent one. So I have two here, and they should be going, it should be longer here, and then it's going to get shorter as it goes up like this. So I'm gonna wrap my next one. And the, you know, these seed beads vary a little bit as far as the sizing. They're not perfect. If you wanted to make sure that your pattern is exact and there's no variation in the size of the beads, so even though they are 2 millimeters, sometimes they are closer to 1 millimeter or closer to 3 millimeters. So if you don't want that variation, you can use the Miyuki beads, because those are all perfectly sized. So you can see we're starting to make that pattern there. Making sure I keep these in order. Wrapping it around, bunching them together, trim off. Almost done here. So once I get my last one of these on, I'm going to I'm going to cut down the eye pin, and I will make a loop at that end, and then I'm going to slide it into the tube connector. Okay, so got these, and like I said, they're a little crazy right now, but we can straighten them out. So I'm going to trim the wire of the eye pin like that. I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to make a really small little loop like that, and then I will slide this into my connector here. I need to open the connector up a little bit. The end flap was blocking it. So it should slide. You kind of have to move the pieces to get them in. Just like this. All right. And then the only thing left to do here is to close up the end of this. So depending on how hard it is, you might be able to just use your hands, or you might have to use the pliers. So I'm using the pliers. Close that up. I'm going to straighten these out a little bit. So I'm just scooting them apart like that. And the wire's a little nuts right now, so I can work on that for a minute and get them straight. Obviously, the more you work with it, the straighter you can get them. I'm not gonna make you watch me do that forever. So you get the idea. And then from here, all you need to do is take an ear wire, open it up, hook it on, and close it back up. And I've already made my other earring, so the match to this, and I actually did the opposite direction. Those are crazy right now. Again, I could mess with those forever, but you get the idea. So here is my other one. So you can see that they are a match, but they are symmetrical. So this is a mirror image of that one. But you could do so many different things with these depending on how you made the bottoms of them, the colors you choose, the pattern, and so on. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you stay connected with Urban Rhino on social media. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and of course, subscribe to our channel.